Talk to Me. I'm your host, Brenda Warren, the Solutionist. I help people turn their mess or their mission into a message for the masses. I help veterans, entrepreneurs, and authors get what is important to them out so that people can say, let's talk about that. And today I'm excited because I'm going to get to talk to none other than Cranford Blackman. And why do I want to talk to Cranford? Because as a sexual assault survivor, what he does intrigues me. I'm going to read this because I don't want to mess this up. It says, when a young woman who is like family to Cranford was brutally attacked and raped in her own home, besides being devastated, he was confused. How could a healthy, strong woman with such self-confidence, self-defense training be so horribly beaten, tortured, and raped? Why didn't the self-defense technique that are so commonly taught around the world work for her? Why hasn't someone created a program that does work, but doesn't require years of practice, greater strength than the attacker, or a weapon? The response that popped into his mind at the moment was, why hadn't he? That question shocked him. And that is how FemVincible got started. And today we're going to have a conversation about that. First, I must tell the audience that I roped him into doing this on the spot without any preparation because I was so intrigued when I read what he was doing. And if he doesn't like this, we're going to do it over and give him the opportunity to come back and come on the show. But I'm telling you right now, we're going to have him back anyway, because for many of my audience, they've heard me talk about my own challenges with having been brutally attacked, not once, but twice. And those self-defense techniques that I learned in the Marine Corps, that I learned in Taekwondo class, each one of them failed me miserably. So I am interested, as someone that has gone through this type of an attack, to know how can Cranford help me never be in a position again where I feel defenseless, helpless, and unable to protect myself. Cranford, welcome to Talk to Me. How you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
You know, when I read this about why FemVincible was created, I wanted to know exactly what it is you do to help women, not just women like me that have already been in that situation, but help women avoid that situation altogether. So I'm hoping you will take your time to unpack what this meant for you. And although I've read the Bible, I want to hear in your own words why it was important for you to create this program.
Okay, sure thing. It's not a completely pleasant story, but I'm happy to share it with you. When that happened to that young lady who's like family to me, she was one of my daughter's best friends when they were in college. And it shocked me, that somebody as healthy and capable as her had such terrible things happen. And what she learned to do to a man that was attacking you didn't work. And I got to thinking about it. And with my background in law enforcement, having been around the world in the military, I recognize that the people that predators prey upon are the people that they think they can control the easiest. The people that they see and go, oh, low self-confidence, low self-esteem. They don't believe in themselves. And not that those predators are smart enough to figure all that out, but it's just something they pick up on. And there's been some pretty neat research, in prisons on those kind of predators and how they select people. And it's interesting that predators from different prisons, watching a video that's being shown to them about who would they select, they select the same people. And some of them have no idea why that's the selection. But after those videos are reviewed, a lot of times it's shoulders down, head down. The very look that people carry when they don't believe in themselves. And it's one thing to believe in yourself, about your job. You might feel great when you're in the corner office in the C-suite, but then you walk down to the parking garage. It's a whole different animal when you're down there by yourself and see somebody that's frightening walking towards you. So I decided that because predators are looking for people who are not confident. That means they're not just looking for people that are young and healthy and have a gym membership and use it all the time.
Yeah.
They're looking for women of all different shapes and sizes, different ages. It doesn't matter, tiny and petite or curvy or tall or using a walker or in a wheelchair. That's what predators, they just see it as another benefit for them because it means more opportunity that they can control somebody. So when I was putting my program together, I thought this has to work for anybody. And to be able to work for anybody, even without regard to physical challenges or their size or how strong they are, or maybe they have like rheumatoid arthritis and their body doesn't work like they want it to. I decided the thing to do is to move away from techniques and skills that require body strength and flexibility and good health to be able to do. And that meant moving into the world of the mind.
Before you go any further, I want to say that what you're talking about is what we see in nature in general, because whenever I would watch the safari movies, I always noticed that the lions or the tigers or whatever was the predator always looked for the weakest, the young calf or the animal that was injured. They never went for the strong ones. They looked for that weak link, and then they would attack there because that was the easiest prey. And if I understand it correctly, when we show up on a daily and we are showing that weakness, maybe we're carrying too many bags and we're distracted and we look like an easy target, you're going to teach women how not to be that easy target.
Right. And not only how not to be it, how not to look like it. You actually, we give off a vibe when we're confident.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when somebody walks in a room and they're successful and they're capable. I mean, they have an energy to them.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what size they are. I think of teachers when I was in high school that were tiny women, but if they had the look and they were walking down the hallway, everybody parted ways to make sure she had room to walk, so
True.
That's an energy that she was giving off in her strength and maybe in her bad mood. But there are ways to create that, to bring that up within yourselves. But there's also some things that need to be removed. And it's those negative beliefs that we have, that I'm not strong enough, that I'm not worthy of being safe, that I'm not lovable. And I think people are sometimes surprised that I talk about loving yourself as a way of being safer. But when you love yourself, you'll stand up for yourself. For your right to not be spoken to in a rude manner, for your right to not be put down, for your right to not be touched in a way you don't want. If you don't love yourself, then you may let things like that slide. And when you do, it just creates more opportunities for predators. So there's so much that happens mentally and emotionally that can make a woman just look like a terrible target to a predator. Because if she looks capable, he's going to go, not her, let me move along.
Absolutely. Now, when you first came up with FemVincible, did you get any pushback from people that saying, no, I need a weapon or I need to be able to kick some butt?
I still get that.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting. I'll have people tell me, oh, I don't need that. I have, I carry a gun. I've had several women tell me that. And it's one of those challenging things for me. I mean, I've been around guns my whole life. I've been in the military or law enforcement most of my life. So I'm familiar, but most people aren't. And the thing that I worry about for them is, one, if they don't have the appropriate training,
Yes.
that firearm can become a real liability instead of something to protect them. The other thing that I'll ask when women go, oh, I carry a firearm, I'll go, well, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember this one lady answering me and she said, it's in my purse. And she had her purse over her shoulder and, pushed around the back like women do. And she was holding her toddler in that arm. and she had a 4-year-old in her other hand. And
Mhm.
I was thinking, are you really going to throw your child down? You
To
know,
get your weapon.
to try to get to your, yeah, to try to
Mhm.
dig through your purse and pull it out, you know. And the other thing I'll share is, if a lot of times when people carry a firearm, it's their first thought.
Mhm.
And I want there to be all these other possibilities you can do before you need a firearm, before you need a self-defense technique, before you need to try some martial arts stuff you watched on YouTube. You know, uh, those are the last possible options you have. But there's a whole world of possibility before that that can keep him from seeing you in the first place as prey, and from dissuading him to even think of you
So
as a
true.
target. And
So do
none of
you
that requires strength. It doesn't require fancy techniques. You know, there's just a million ways to do it, but that's not taught anywhere.
have an age requirement for FemVincible?
I do. Generally, I will teach from about 16 up, but one of the things that I really like to do instead of teaching young people
Mhm.
is to teach their moms and dads,
Okay.
because I think it's wonderful for a young lady, a young girl, to learn to be a powerful, confident woman
Mhm.
from her powerful, confident mom,
Yes.
you know, and the same for boys. So when I teach a mom all these skills that she now uses throughout her day, because they're not just to keep you from being attacked,
Mhm.
they're to keep you from getting caught up in other dangerous situations, a fire in your building or a dangerous car on the road near your vehicle. And they're also used for seeing opportunities to protect yourself, to save yourself, or to promote yourself. You
Right.
know, when you see the opportunities around you, they can be for so many things. And when a child sees that, when mom teaches her and she sees mom doing it every day, children continue to psychologically learn off of, they're modeling what they see mom and do, even into their mid and late teens. So
So
that's a better way of teaching than them coming to see me once.
so I guess what I'm understanding, it's not just for women that have been attacked or trying to prevent an attack. It's for women to see the opportunity in being their most powerful selves.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You know, I think about the predator's radar, and being a military person, and you're a veteran too. Thank you for your
Mhm.
service.
Thank you for
Uh,
yours.
I mean, we understand how radar systems work. So one of the ways that I explain a predator's radar is there's 3 ways that you can keep a predator being from you being on his radar.
Okay.
One is to stay hidden completely, stay locked away in your house, don't go anywhere. That's a terrible option.
I did that for a very long time after my
And you
attack. Bad
did,
option.
I believe it. It's, yeah, I mean, it takes you away from living your life. It's self-imprisonment, basically.
Absolutely.
The second way is to be so small that their radar doesn't pick up that you're even there. It means hiding all the time, even out in public.
Now I did that as well through baggy clothes and trying to make myself as unattractive as possible.
Right, right. But the third way is to become so bright in what you are and who you are that it blinds their radar. It's,
Hmm.
you know, it's like the systems that we have in the Air Force that will blind a radar system by sending its own signal to it. So it's like the radar looks, when it gets to you, it goes, oh, I can't see right there. And then it skips and goes on. So that's the part where I want to show women what you're capable of. You know, what's already within you. You don't have to learn a bunch of new things. The stuff that I'll teach you, it's millions of years old. Animals have been doing this forever, just like you were talking about. You know, what does a lion look for?
Mhm.
Well, there's the other side. What do antelope do when they see a lion? You know,
Mhm.
so there are so many things that you can do. And when women realize this, they stand up taller. I mean, I've seen it in my classes, you know, women who come in looking afraid and closed off, and even just in a short class, and all of a sudden they're standing up going, I can do that. Like, you better believe you can do it. It's
Yeah.
been within you the whole time, but no one knew to tell you. It's just something that mother to daughter hasn't happened in thousands of years because we're so civilized now. We depend on laws and law enforcement instead of the power within us to keep ourselves safe and to not look like good prey.
Another conversation that we definitely need to have with our sons and daughters that is not being had. Now, if someone wanted to become FemVincible, is that an individual class, a family class, or a group class, or all of the above?
It's all of the above. Normally, what I'll work with is with either organizations or businesses who would provide it for their employees or their employees' spouses or for their clients, or sponsor a course, for the local battered women's shelter or a local school. I do that. I also do private courses.
Okay.
So if somebody said, it's me and my family, we're a little bit of celebrity. We don't exactly want to be in the public class. Can we do it just us? Yes, you can do that. Or if it's a private course and you want all the ladies in your neighborhood, maybe all the members of your homeowners association to do a program like this, we can do a private class. And those are great. Those private classes allow me to look at what everybody in that group has in common and to adjust what I teach to them. I love teaching in person, but I really love teaching live so that I can make the connection with what they're really worried about, what they've experienced before. Because most of the women that I've talked to, Brenda, that are in my classes, they are survivors of some sort of trauma. So I do teach, very gently. Nothing is scary because I don't want women to be more afraid. I want them to feel powerful and capable of what they can do, no matter what's happened to them before.
Now, how would someone that wanted to get one of your FemVincible classes or workshops, what would they have to do?
All they would do is just go over to my website and click on Contact Me. They can look at the information about the different courses. There's 6 different programs in the FemVincible. There's 6 different courses in the FemVincible program. And they go from a very short 5-hour course to a very long 10-week course.
Okay.
And all the first 5 courses are all about how to make a predator see you as not a good option, how to make you feel powerful, to use what's around you, to see everything in your environment as an option for you to use to protect yourself, to protect your children, or to evade or escape someone who's trying to do you harm. So it's about using creativity, understanding a special kind of mindfulness that helps you recognize what you're capable of in a situation. It's about seeing things that people normally look at as just a thing. And now you see it as, oh, wait a minute, I can pick that up. And now I'm armed in a way that, the bad guy doesn't see coming. So the first 5 courses are all about everything that you can do. And there's a lot you can do to make yourself just unappealing to a predator. The last course is the one that too many people want to jump to. That's the hands-on course. It's actually called the Dragon's Fire course.
Okay.
And it's what happens if somebody does put their hands on you or on your child. What can you do that is not based on how strong you are, how big you are, how fit you are, how capable you are. And there are just so many possibilities of what you can do that aren't based on those things. And the other thing that I actually include all along there and in this last program, I include the tactics and strategies of psychological warfare. Now, I thought when I started talking to people about that, women would go, what? I don't want to hear it. But it seems like when I say it, women go, hey, tell me about that thing you just said, psychological warfare. And so even in the hands-on course, it's not about being stronger. It's about what you can do with your voice, your hands, your body, the stuff that's around you, the spoon that you have in your hand. What can you do to use that not only affects a predator's body, but moves his mental focus from the front of his brain, which is where we have executive function to decide, I want to do this, back to the survival brain, so that now he sees this woman he's grabbed as no longer prey. It's like, wait a minute, I might be the prey. She's tearing me up here, using the glass that she was holding in her hand, or, I mean, there's just so many things, but, and everything is like that. So you don't have to be big enough to knock somebody down. I look at the women that come to me. I'm 6'1" and weigh 210 pounds. I'm not a little guy. And I look at the women and go, who can push me down here? Who could hit me hard enough to stop me? So I need to teach something that's different than that, so that it doesn't matter if you're only tall enough to come up to my chest and you weigh 87 pounds, if you're carrying 2 bags of groceries, there had to be something for them too. And adding in that part of anything you do physically to also affect the mind of the predator is just really powerful. It's very powerful.
Very powerful. For those of you that may hear this and not see this, you can reach out and get Cranford's courses and classes at thelabcafe.com, which is labcaf.com. I'm going to put that in the description so you can make sure you can reach out and find those courses. Additionally, on his website, you can listen to the podcast and read his blogs and get all kind of information about what it truly means to be FemVincible. And with that said, I'd like to thank you for being on this ambush interview with me today, Cranford, and ask you this: how has developing FemVincible helped you live your best life now?
I'll tell you, having a life of purpose now. I mean, I enjoyed the time I was in the military. I enjoyed being a police officer as a civilian. And now, as I'm getting older, to be able to continue to keep people safe by showing them how to do it for themselves and for their children, it feels wonderful. It's, there's nothing else I can think of doing. I've had friends go, well, yeah, but if somebody gave you $1 billion, would you still do it? And I said, yeah, I just do it with better shirts and shoes.
There you go.
It's wonderful. And to see the change on people's faces when, they realize that they can be safe. I tell you, it moves my heart to see the change that happens in somebody's life.
That's amazing. And for those of you that watch the show and those of you new to the show, here on Talk to Me, it's always about how do we tap into what my guests are doing. So I'm going to tell you exactly how you do that. If you are ready to become FemVincible, then what you have to first do is change your mindset and realize it's not always about weapons or karate or any kind of self-manipulation to stop a predator. So we want you to change your mindset about what's possible to become FemVincible. Then I want you to announce to the world that you're going to go over there to labcaf.com and take one of those classes or workshops so that Cranford can teach you how to truly become FemVincible. And when you get there, he's going to get you some accountability that's going to help you do exactly that. But here's what the P is for. You're going to prepare to go to his website and do that. And how do you prepare? You just turn on your computer, pick up your mobile phone, your iPad, your laptop, whatever mobile device you have, and you make the connection, because that's going to get you started on your FemVincible journey. Then I want you to imagine how amazing your life is going to be when you are less stressed because you're FemVincible. Once you have all that done, I want you to nurture the thought that even as an 87-pound little woman with 2 bags of groceries, a toddler, and a dog on a leash, you too have the power to make predators look for somebody else and not you. Not that we want them to get anybody, but we want to nurture that thought that you can and will be FemVincible with Cranford's help. So that's how you tap into becoming FemVincible. Cranford, I'd like to thank you for being on the show today and ask you, do you have any last thoughts? Maybe something you want to just leave the guests with before we end today?
I'd just like to say, like I said before, everything I teach is already in you. So own that. Even if you don't get a chance to talk to me, own that there is power within you, regardless of what's happened to you, regardless of what anyone has ever done to you or said about you. You are powerful, you are capable, and you are worthy. And that's important to know.
Thanks, Cranford. I'd like to thank you on behalf of all the women and men that will benefit from your training. I appreciate that you took the opportunity. When you saw a need, you filled a need, and you're changing lives every day. So for those of you out there, as I always tell you, remember, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. Choose wisely and choose to be FemVincible. Be blessed.